Hello, hello. How are you today? It's me, Jean Harville, and I am going to talk to you a little bit more about some things that are coming up in the next week. And so pay attention, all right? I have some announcements to make, or an announcement to make, I should say. So if you don't know who I am the founder of Unleashing Your Genius, and I'm also the creator of this page, Helping Children with Learning, or Helping Kids with Learning, and also Raising Motivated Learners Facebook group. And I'm also, I'm creator of the Empowered Mom Experience. And so this doing a lot of creations here and a lot of things in serving my community. All right, so today we are going to be talking about motivation and procrastination. They kind of go together, even though they have a different end result, right? But they can couple together. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, all right? Now, some of the questions that have come into the Facebook group as you're asked, what is it that you want to learn about as far as helping your kids to move forward in their learning, right? And some of the questions are, when the work is hard, how do you motivate them? That's hard, right? Who wants to do hard work, right? And how to get my teen motivated to complete homework early and not waiting till they're too tired to finish it, or they try to finish it in the morning. We know how that works in the morning, right? That could be crazy time. How to find motivation to do the work in subjects they don't care about. Right? If they don't care about it, how do you get them to do the work? I remember some of those classes also. And how do you get them motivated to start schoolwork? Who wants to do schoolwork when you have been at school during the day doing schoolwork? Okay. How to motivate my child without medication? How can I motivate my teen to do his homework without prompting from us? Trying to teach that independence. I totally get that. How to get them to care and be motivated. How to create motivation across all areas of their lives. All super, super great questions. And when we think about motivation, we think of it as a thing, but actually motivation is internal. It comes from inside. So, okay, so what do you mean by that? All right, so motivation is not willpower. I'm going to try super, super hard, and I'm going to, just put all my thoughts on it, and I'm going to have steam coming out of my ears, and I'm just doing, willpower. I'm going to do this, and it does not work that way. Motivation does not work that way. It also does not work for rewards and punishment system. It doesn't work that way too. All of that's exterior. It is not internal. And internal, now we get to play around with emotions. And we talked a little bit about that, I believe, last week, about emotions and what's going on with that, all right? Motivation, let's just kind of recap just a little bit, like what exactly is motivation? And motivation is, it initiates, it's a process that, I couldn't read my writing, it's a process that initiates and guides and maintains goal-oriented behavior. You have a specific goal, and that's what you want to complete and get to, right? What causes you to act, whether getting a glass of water to reduce thirst or whatever. Motivation is there's something that you want. I want. So you become motivated to get that thing that you want. If that want isn't there, it doesn't work as well. You can't force yourself to want something if it doesn't appeal to you, right? And so it boils down to wanting. It's a change in behavior. You're wanting a change in your behavior, or wanting to go get some water because you're thirsty. It's going to change the core of your system, of your body. It is a change in thoughts, how you want to change your thinking. I want a different way of thinking. So then you become motivated to change that thought. Feelings. I don't want to cry anymore. I become motivated to not cry. Or whatever feelings that you're wanting to change. Environment. I want to go outside where it's nice and sunny as opposed to being inside. So you're motivated to actually go and make that change. It's when you want to make a change. And relationships. You're motivated to call up your best friend, to go do something different or do something with them. It's an internal process. It desires a change, right? So how do we get ourselves motivated to do the things that we aren't excited about doing? Yeah, it's kind of tricky, isn't it? Now we know that motivation is sustained by neurochemicals, right? We talked about dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Those are created when we're motivated. Those chemicals are firing in our brain. So the question becomes, how do we get those chemicals to fire in our brain to get us motivated, right? That becomes the question. Also, the flip side of that is procrastination. Procrastination also fires the same neurochemicals. So it's sort of like, okay, are we going to procrastination? Are we going to go to motivation? Either way, procrastination, we're still wanting to change. We don't want to do what it is that we're doing right at the moment. We need to go take a walk. We need to take a break. We want to go get a water or go whatever. It looks very similar, doesn't it? To be motivated to go get something or make a change, to procrastinate to make that change. I want to get out of this chair and stop doing whatever, and I'm going to procrastinate. I'll get that done later. You know, for me, it might be housework. I'll put my broom down. I'm going to go do something different than where I'm still going to be getting hit with those neurochemicals. Procrastination also because you're doing something that you want to do. It gives you that feel good because you just took a break from something you didn't want to do. So you're like, okay, chains are off. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to procrastinate. Now my neurochemicals, my oxytocin, my serotonin, my dopamine hitting, doing great. I'm going to stay over here as long as my brain is receiving those feel-good hormones. And then you're thinking, well, what about that over there? How can I get this procrastination over into motivation, right? It's tricky. It is tricky. So, you were motivated a little while ago. How do we get back to that? So figuring out how to manage this becomes that talk of collaboration with yourself, setting goals for yourself, setting time for yourself. Also with your kids, collaboration. What is something that you want to do like for the next 30 minutes? And after the 30 minutes are up, then we will move into, the homework phase or whatever it is that you're wanting to motivate your child to do. So it takes talking to them and explain to them what's going on in their brain. Explain to them, yeah, it feels good to do this. And yes, we're still going to get the same feel-good chemicals when we go over here. So when we are working on something that we are dreading, like, for our kids, it's homework. For us, it might be income taxes. We want to break it into smaller pieces. And what our brain loves is checking it off when we get it done. Yes. Anything that's like a reward, like, check it off. Oh, I get to check that off. Oh, got me some dopamine. And then, whatever your agreement is, if you complete a certain something or whatever, or task, then you get to go over here for a little bit. And then after, a timer goes off, you go over here. I know it's very rigid, but you have to figure out what's going to work best for your child and for you. And how you're still getting the dopamine hits either way, whether you're in the motivated or if you're in the procrastination stage. So, figuring that out. And a lot of that has to do with maturity of the brain, maturity of the executive function of the frontal lobe, where that is telling us, it's urgent, you need to get this done, or I'm going to go play instead. So there is that brain development that is still, still working, is still moving on. It's one of the last parts of the brain that's developed until you're at age 25. If you struggle with some other things like dyslexia or ADHD, it may be into your 30s until that part of the brain is fully developed, where you can turn on and turn off and turn on and turn off a lot easier. So we have to take into consideration what stage of development our brains, if we're younger, our kids' brains as they're younger. Where are they? Where are they? They are coming from an immature brain, executive function field, right in the frontal lobe area. We have to take that into consideration. All right, so figuring that out. Yeah, so we have to break those big projects into smaller chunks and check them off. Get a good night's sleep. That's another thing to do, right? Squeeze in some physical activity. If they just need to, if they're coming straight home from work, have them go play for 30 minutes to an hour. That's just that release, just to get that fresh air. And I know you probably already do this. Some of your kids play soccer, baseball, softball, basketball, whatever, and that's an awesome way to release, to get dopamine hits going, when they're like on a high, and then they come home and have that conversation with them, like, when do you feel most ready to tackle this project or to get this homework done, and then also another thing is if you get them to recognize that when they complete their assignments, they're like, whew, wow, okay, I'm done, check it off. Brain loves it when you check things off. So just talk to them about their brain, talk to them about the neurochemicals in the brain and how they can continue getting those feeling good about themselves, and of course in the areas where they're struggling, and depending on what it is they struggle with, using the tech, the assistive technology tech to help them get through their homework, perfectly fine to do that. And so they're not having to struggle with reading or whatever, or whatever it is that they're having. Let them use technology. They know how to use it, and let them use that. It is not cheating whatsoever. If anything, it's giving them dopamine hits. Right? Because it all kind of works together. And so when you can pull all your tools together, discuss it with your child, with your teen, and say, hey, we're going to pull all this stuff together to support you so that we can move through and get this done and whatever, right? So there's it is individual, but the main thing to remember is it's internal. Motivating is internal. It's also based off emotions. All right. If you don't want to do something, that doesn't matter. You can try anything and everything under the sun, is not going to happen. It's internal. So getting a hold of the emotions of what's going on and turning that around, having conversation, and a lot of praise and a lot of, hey, yesterday, I loved how you were able to come right in and to get busy. That was super awesome. How did that feel? Yeah. And then were you able to get your work done? Absolutely. And after you finished your work, what were you able to go do? So what you're doing is reminding them of, like, oh yeah, I remember, and that was a good thing. And, of course, it depends on the mood and how they're feeling when they are sitting down to do their work. You have to talk through that, and work through that. All right. So I wanted to announce that I have a free 3-day experience coming up next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And it's no cost. It is Hidden Secrets to Motivation Revealed. I'll be revealing more secrets and more processes that you can use to help motivate yourself and help motivate your kids. So when we as moms learn systems and put them to work ourselves, so we fully understand what's going on, then we are able to help our teens to use those systems too, because then we know what we're listening to those negative comments that are coming out and what to do with them. So next week is March 8th, 9th, and 10th, and it is Hidden Secrets to Motivation Revealed. Be there. We'll be on Zoom, and I'm going to put the link to the opt-in page right below this video. Click it, go to the opt-in page and get all the information that you need, and click and join me and come in, come into the workshop. It's going to be really super exciting. I'm going to be posting more information about it in the group, where you have plenty of opportunities to come in and click the link to go and register for the Hidden Secrets to Motivation Revealed workshop. It's a 3-day experience. And if you did the workshop, I call it a workshop, yeah. If you did that with me a couple of weeks ago, you saw how it is an experience. It is something that not everyone comes out with the same results. Everyone comes out with their own results because we all have our own brains, right? Different brains. And so it's not like a cookie cutter. You do this, you do this, you do this. It is a process, an experience that we work through together so that you can focus on the areas that you're wanting to focus on, and tell your brain what it is that you want to accomplish and want to focus on. And when we have that process in place, it makes it so much easier, develops habits that become automatic, and you're not having to think through, forcing yourself to get something done. Help motivation, right? Help get yourself motivated. And when you have this process running and you are working with this process, motivation is absolutely there. All right. So, Jean Harville signing off. Find the link down below and click it and get yourself registered. It's a free event. It starts next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'll see you then. All right. Bye.